Hello and welcome back to my channel. A while back I got a new book called Making Colors Sing, and I read through the whole thing, highlighted bits and pieces. I found this to be a really good book, I think, for me to start simplifying my palette and trying to make different pigments work with each other in creating newer colors or different colors. So in this video, I'm going to start by setting up a new watercolor palette based off of the recommendations from this book. I'm going to be doing a very limited palette with only 6 colors. And these are the colors that I have chosen, plus an additional one. And I'm just gonna kind of see how things go. I'm just gonna step by step try each exercise, I guess. So the colors I chose were Rose Madder, Aurelian, New Gamboge, Viridian, Cobalt Teal Blue, and Cobalt Blue. Cobalt Teal Blue was an extra color I just added in that wasn't a color from the book, just because I like using that color a lot, but it also might be a little bit repetitive. I'm kind of thinking I should have gone with an ultramarine blue just because I tend to use that color a lot. Another thing is with these colors that were in the book, they're all transparent watercolors, so you can layer them on top of each other to kind of create those new colors, like layering a blue on top of a yellow, creating more of like a green mixture. I believe that's how it's supposed to work. I typically layer, but I layer the same color on top of each other. That's kind of what I'm most comfortable doing to add more depth and darkness to that color, but I've never tried really layering different colors on top of each other. So that's kind of what I'm going to be experimenting with in this palette. The palette I chose for this is the portable painter. It's just a little micro palette. It holds 6 colors. And it actually took me quite a while to fill this palette because I kind of do 3 passes of filling up each palette. Oh, the pan. So I fill up the pan a third of the way each time and let it dry. So like I'll fill it, stir the paint around to get out any bubbles, and then I let it dry for about a week, and then I do that 3 times to completely fill up the palette. So I'm starting out here with a completely dry palette. I chose one color, so I'm doing the Cobalt Blue, and for this painting of a cat, I'm just going to be layering this one color on top of each other, because in the book, that's kind of what I'm gathering, like how you should start with using this method. And for me, I'm comfortable doing this already, so this was just like a natural start for me. After each layer, I completely let the paint dry. You can tell the paint is dry when it's not cool anymore, like cool to the touch. I typically like to go like a day in between my layers. It's kind of hard for me to to paint when it's still a little bit damp because the water can still kind of seep and flow outside of where I want it to go. But that's also just me being a little too perfect, because with watercolor, typically you kind of just want it to flow and do its thing, but that's just not how I work. So for this one, each layer is definitely spaced apart within time. I'm not just doing it right after each other, if that makes sense. And you can already start to see how the layers kind of build up on each other. Another thing I did do was add less water. So my first layer was very watery, and you can see more paint being added as I go because the consistency of the little thing on the little paint palette is like watery, or it'll be like less watery. I don't know how to explain it, but that's just me adding more and more paint to the water mixture. I don't know, I thought this would be kind of be a good idea for me to just like get back into painting again. I feel like I haven't painted for a really long time, and I just want to start painting more. So I'm doing little tiny paintings. They're the size of like a trading card. I just feel like this is something I can actually complete within the time that I have, because I don't really have a lot of time to paint. And the brush I'm using for this is a Betty Hayways. I believe I ordered these from Europe and I love them. And I always like to finish off my watercolor paintings by adding a little bit of colored pencil. So I'm using my Polychromos colored pencils, and I'm just swatching and picking out a color that matches the cobalt blue, and I'm just gonna do a little bit of detail work on top. I like to bring out like the fine lines, just the focal points that you want to stand out a bit more. So like the nose, the eyes, the mouth, adding a little bit more shadow. I kind of do this on a lot of my paintings as I tip my pencil to the side and just lightly rub the painting and create like a little bit of a texture. And for some more details and a little like pop of highlights, I like to use a white pen. Typically it's a jelly roll. I find that these work really well, and if they don't, you just have to like hit them against your palm to get the ink moving, because sometimes it does get stuck. And this works well for like little hair pieces, whiskers, eyelashes, the highlights of the eyes and nose. So this is kind of my final step. And that is my finished illustration. I hope you found this enjoyable, and thanks for watching. Bye.